Here's part 2 of my doctoral journey, because I've already talked about the mental and emotional aspect of it in part 1 and overcoming the fear of, can I do this? Am I good enough? You know, all of those self-defeating thoughts that we have about ourselves or about our capabilities and our what's possible and what's not possible in our lives. In part 2, I want to talk about my experience in the actual program, the application process, how I paid for my program, and some of the strategies of paying for school. I'm just going to give you what I experienced at my university, and know that if you decide to apply or wherever you are, there may be a few little differences, okay? So let's get started. Hey, let's get started. I don't know what I'm trying to sing. Let me get started. The application process. Now, if you watch part 1, I had no intention of applying to grad school. I had been looking for years, and I didn't find a program that I felt passionate about, that I was interested in, that matched with my or aligned with my career goals or the skills that I have personally and that I've acquired over the years, or the passion I have in the area of education that I do, or just in technology. And it's time, sacrifice, money, money, energy. So it needs to be something you care about. It needs to be something that has purpose and value in your life in multiple areas. That's ideal. The deadline was in 2 weeks. I'm gonna tell you something. In graduate school, master's, doctoral, and really, there's not a lot of flexibility when there are deadlines. You need to be able to meet deadlines. There may be some exceptions. They may give you an exception here or there, but for the most part, you're going to have to find, if that's not natural to you, of having a schedule and meeting obligations by a certain date, time management, all of those things, and organizing yourself, which it doesn't always come naturally to me. You have to be disciplined and work hard at that. 2 weeks to apply, 2 weeks to get write a letter of intent, 2 weeks to get unofficial transcripts, 2 weeks to take the GRE, study for the GRE, and then take it, 2 weeks for getting the recommendations. What in the world? So overnight, my life became another whirlwind. After accepting a new job, I'm in the job less than a year at this point, and now I'm starting school. Crazy town, but worth it. Okay, stay with me. I applied. I did take the GRE. I did all the things. I took the GRE, bombed on the verbal. I bombed on the math. But the writing score, the maximum score was 6. I scored a 5. God knew that this particular university only cared about the writing score. I scored a 5. By the grace of God. I scored a 5 out of 6. I got in. The university I was attending uses a cohort model. Best thing that ever could have done. That means I started with with a group of people that were in that application and admission cycle. So we all started the program together, and we took probably the first 5 or 6 courses together. We're able to share our professional experiences together, and we formed a bond. And that bond is what kept a lot of us going. And we all would talk about, like, man, if I didn't have you to talk to, if I didn't have you all to lean on, I wouldn't make it. The other key aspect is, how do you pay? It's so expensive. I had undergrad. I still was owed student loans from undergrad when I started. Yeah. And my master's. That's a whole nother story. I knew better. I worked for the state. I got tuition waiver where the employer pays for your tuition, and I still took out a loan for my master's degree. My life had been turned upside down, topsy-turvy. I was going through probably one of the worst experiences of my life, and I thought, let me just hold on to this extra money. I'll take the loan, even though my tuition is covered by my employer. And then I spent it. So here I am now with both compounded debt from undergrad and master's, and didn't even have to do it. Fast forward to 2020, I said, no. You know better, you do better, ideally. And in my case, I said, what I will not do is put myself in more debt. Here are some ways you can pay for school. And then I'm going to save what I did for last, because I think save the best for last, right? First, you have your FAFSA and your student loans. All of that you can do also for grad school. Would I recommend it? No. Is it all of the options that some people have? Maybe. I don't know. But a private loan, a student loan, those are all options. What you may not know about is there are what they are called graduate assistantships. There are programs, degree programs out there who want you so bad, who want to enroll you in their program. And in order to do that, they offer money. A lot of times they offer assistantships. And assistantships, graduate research assistantship, a graduate teaching assistantship, and a lot of times that comes with tuition and a stipend. So Google what those are and what the responsibilities would be, but those often are offered by programs, but you don't know unless you inquire. You don't know unless you research online. You don't know unless you call or talk to someone at the institution and talk about what type of assistantships are available. It's not available for students who are online. I haven't seen a university or a college yet that offers assistantships to people like me who are online. So that wasn't even an option for me. Darn it, right? My employer had a tuition reimbursement program. So I still had to pay tuition somehow up front, and then they reimbursed me a percentage. Hey, some money is better than no money. You understand? I wasn't going to complain. Whatever you all are willing to do for me, thank you. That still left quite a bit of a balance for me to pay. Here is the hack that most colleges, in my experience, in my 23 years of experience, don't talk about enough. And that's the monthly payment plan. Some of you use Affirm and Pay in 4 and all of those things when you're ordering for yourself, ordering from online vendors and companies, and you say, oh, I can do it. I'm going to pay in 4 airline tickets, clothes, shoes. Guess what? You can do the same for your college. Yes, you can. And it's been that way since the 90s. And they just did not really emphasize that. They talk about loans. They talk about everything except paying by the month. But it's no interest rate. And they divide the tuition, for depending on how many credits you're taking, they divide the tuition across the semester, and then you pay in small pieces every month. Everyone's financial situation is different. Your income is different. Your responsibilities are different. I don't know. What I do want you to do is do your research, and knowing is half the battle. Knowing or not knowing what those options are, a lot of times is what keeps us from pursuing something that we can have, that's in our reach, that's possible, because we didn't know. I am not in any debt. The student loan forgiveness worked out for me. I know it hasn't worked out for everyone, so I don't owe any of my undergrad or master's anymore. My loans were forgiven, and because I used the monthly payment plan for my doctoral program, I'm debt free. Student loan free, student debt free, because I paid by the month. That I sacrificed for 3.5 years because I needed to pay I wanted to be debt free. I wanted to be smart. I wanted to be strategic. So when they actually reimbursed me for tuition, I took that the 33%. Again, it wasn't 100%. I'll take it. Thank you. I appreciate it. I took that 33% and reinvested it the next month. So it requires discipline financially. It requires discipline in your time. It requires discipline in here and in here. Does it happen overnight? No. But it needs to happen quickly, because the program is going to keep moving with or without you. I emailed my program director. I said, listen, I didn't want to talk to you about some things about my program, about my path. Sure, let's talk. I said, hey, is it possible for me to graduate in December 2023? that's really aggressive. That's an aggressive goal you have there. I said, but is it possible? Is it possible? He said, yes. I said, that's all I need to know, baby. How do I do it? So he said, okay, what we're going to have to do is engineer our schedule backwards. We mapped it out, and every semester, I didn't say it was easy. Listen, sometimes I took classes over the summer. Sometimes I took 3 classes at a time instead of 1. It was so much work, but it was worth it for me. You do what works for you. The moral of this story is closed mouths don't get fed. Or if you have a question, ask. There's a lot of reading, an enormous amount of writing. Any opportunity from day one that you have to write, any assignment where you're going to be writing, if you have any inkling of what potentially your dissertation might be, the topic might be, use that opportunity. If they give you an assignment where they say choose your own topic, take advantage of every assignment that you can. If you have any idea, don't feel pressured if you don't have an idea about your dissertation. It's okay. But if you have any inkling that might be that, just write on that same topic every time for every class. Thank me later. Okay. Did I mention I had a major surgery while I was in school? Did I mention I had a major surgery in the middle of my doctoral program? Did I leave that part out? I believe I did. I had a major surgery and was in recovery and all of those things. So listen, it's possible. He said it was aggressive. I said, I didn't ask if it was aggressive. I said, is it possible? And I'm telling you, even though it can be hard or aggressive or a challenge, or you may have to rearrange and adjust some things, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible. It's not too late. Here's the last thing. I took a full week off of work, and all I did was eat and write. Eat, sleep, and write. And sometimes I didn't even eat. That's how I was able to do it in such a short period of time. I took extra classes over the summer, so that meant I was able to earn credit, the same amount of credit, 3 credit, 6 credits, 9 credits, but in a shorter period of time. And sometimes it takes that. That's a sacrifice that I'm talking about. And then when I say it's possible, but it requires sacrifice. It's possible, but it requires discipline. It's possible, but it requires focus. It's possible, but it requires prayer. It's possible, but it does require work from you. It requires a commitment from you. It does, and it required the same from me. Every single day, I had to remind myself why it was important to me, why I was doing this, why. You have to remind yourself why. Every day, because I wanted to quit every other day. I do have something to contribute to this world. I do have something to contribute. So there it is. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm gonna get back to it. Yeah, I'm trying. Your girl is trying to do what she's trying to do, because it's not going to do it by itself. I am not going to get all of this together. It's not going to happen because I will it to. It's not going to happen because I really want it to real bad. I have to put in the work. It's no different for school. You can want it real bad. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you don't put in the work, genuine work, it's not going to happen. It's just not. All right. So, all right. Peace and blessings.